In today's world of market volatility and uncertainty, your retirement plans need to be front and center. With ever-changing tax laws, healthcare worries, and an unpredictable stock market, don't overlook the vulnerability in your retirement planning. Protecting your family and estate will be difficult with shifting policies in Washington. It's more important than ever to keep an eye on retirement.
Hi, and welcome into Eye on Retirement, the weekly show that keeps you in the know about all things retirement. I'm your host and financial advisor, Rick Everett, with Market Advisory Group, along with the full complement of panelists, to include advisor with Market Advisory Group, Julie Newton, our lead CPA with Market Tax Services, Joshua Cicora, health professional with Market Medicare Advisors, Cory Hiebert, and from our estate planning team, Eidelman Law Firm, Doug Tschauder with Eidelman Law Firm. Welcome in, everyone. Julie, as advisors, we often meet with people who are so weighed down by an urgent concern that they can't focus on their investments. You were telling me about a situation that you experienced during a recent appointment that was actually life-threatening to the couple. Can you tell us more about that?
Of course. So, Charlie and Rose came to see me. They were 66, Charlie, Rose is 70, and they had were going through a pretty serious situation. So a few years ago, Rose was diagnosed with a very life-threatening illness. And as part of that, she has very specific medication that she had to take, which is extremely expensive, thousands and thousands of dollars. And unfortunately, even though she was on Medicare, Medicare did not cover that prescription. And so the problem was that Charlie's income had increased, and when it increased, then the nonprofit would no longer pay for that medication for Rose.
It sounds like a very serious situation and decision. So, question for you, if we're not already working with someone on their Medicare, how can we help?
Well, that's one of the great things about working with the complete team. This Medicare team is really special because it doesn't matter where that policy came from. They are willing to jump in and have those conversations and advocate for our clients at a given moment.
So obviously this is where you came into play, Cory Hiebert with Market Medicare Advisors. Tell us, how were you able to help Rose?
Yeah, so with Rose's situation, it's not uncommon that we have people that are taking maybe 1, 2 medications, that those are going to be their top dollars and very expensive. And for several people, as we're going through our working career, we may be used to getting something like a provider direct discount, where the manufacturer directly is discounting that drug. Or, like Rose's case, we're having these third parties, these nonprofits come in and help cover that cost. Now, Rose's situation was a little bit special because, quite honestly, I was surprised whenever she came in that she was getting assistance from this nonprofit, because that is anymore a little bit of an uncommon scenario whenever you start Medicare. Typically, being Medicare eligible is going to disqualify you from any of those third-party or manufacturer directs. So I was shocked, but this is the type of situation that we have prepared for in the past. So typically when it comes to deciding on these prescription drug plans, what an advisor is going to do is they should ask the question, what medications are we taking? What pharmacy do we like to pick these medications up from? And are we taking generics or any alternative medications? The reason that we ask a lot of those questions is because on year to year, we see these drug plans completely overhauled. The drug that you've been getting inexpensively for the past maybe 2 or 3 years on the same plan doesn't guarantee coverage for that next year. So for Rose's situation, the best thing that we could do was losing this third-party nonprofit payment. There is nothing we can do right in that instance. Lucky for her, we were meeting right around the fall. Fall is when the open enrollment period does come about. So before, whenever a doctor or her insurance professional was asking her what her medications were, she was withholding that drug because she never expected to have to pay for it. Later on, we did follow up during open enrollment, and we were able to find plans that cover that medication better. We just had never had to plan to pay for that before. It was a brand new feeling for her.
So as Market Medicare Advisors to the rescue, so to speak, in this case, and in a lot of cases, I know with the estate planning team, as an example, they recommend that if you have an estate plan that's 3 to 5 years old, to have that plan reviewed to make sure that everything is the way it's supposed to be, because laws can change, life can change. So, and we're going to touch more on that a little bit down the road in this episode. But my question is, I meet with a lot of people that come in, and as I'm explaining the different services that we offer, and I get to the Medicare side of things, they have the philosophy of, I already have Medicare, I'm all set. So a question for you, Cory, I would throw your way is, we know estate plans need looked at and reviewed and tweaked every 3 to 5 years. What would your advice be to someone who's out there on Medicare right now that may feel like they have achieved a set it and forget it type philosophy?
Yeah, Rick, that's not uncommon that people, we get stressed out heading into that Medicare age. You have a lot of big decisions that you're trying to make while you're still in the process of trying to retire. They want to make that decision and just be done and not think about it anymore. Really, there are 3 main types of plans that we talk about whenever we talk about Medicare. You're going to have your original Medicare system, which will be a Medicare supplement and a prescription drug plan, or you're going to go with a Medicare Advantage plan. So if you do have that Medicare Advantage plan, that plan is constantly going through changes every single calendar year. Very important that, sometimes those meetings only take me 5 minutes. Your health hasn't changed, your medications haven't changed, your plan hasn't really changed. We'll keep you right where you're at. But sometimes it's good to know, hey, next year your doctor is no longer accepting this company. We need to move over to a different insurance company. Prescription drug plans the same way, like I touched on a little bit with Rose. You're going to see changes in that coverage every single year. In fact, I do like to keep track of this. Last year, the most I saved one individual client from switching his drug plan was over $10,000 on the calendar year.
Wow.
And that was with a change to a brand new plan. Now, the people that are set it and forget it, typically what you're going to see is people are going to say, I got a Medicare supplement plan G, and it's the best. It covers everything whenever I go into the hospital. I've got a tiny $240 deductible. And people aren't wrong in saying that coverage is fantastic. The coverage is great. What a lot of times will go over people's head is it doesn't matter what insurance company's name is at the top of that insurance card. Whenever I say the word Plan G, it doesn't matter if it comes from insurance company A or insurance company Z. It is the same exact coverage, but you bet there is a difference in the monthly premium. I have a lot of people that'll come in and will do underwriting, answer 25 to 35 questions, and then keep the same exact coverage, but lower your monthly rates.
So what I'm hearing you say is a checkup of your Medicare coverage is probably a good idea every year.
Absolutely. Doesn't have to be long. You can make it quick, but it's worth your while.
What does Market Medicare Advisors charge someone to come in and just have a review of their Medicare?
Hey, we tell all of our clients, you're never going to owe us a penny. Just let friends and family members know you found a great team to work with.
Julie, not uncommon at all that in Rose and Charlie's case, they came to you thinking they were meeting with a financial advisor, and it went to Medicare right out of the gate. Right. And it went further than that before any financial advising ever even happened.
And that's what's really important about working with a team. It doesn't matter whether it's investment, it's estate planning, it's Medicare, it's, taxes, does not matter. We're going to look at what is the most immediate need for that person to make sure they get that need met immediately. It can have a lot of life-altering consequences, as in Rose's case. You never know what's going to happen. So the team is the way to go.
Imagine getting out of an appointment with your financial advisor where you expressed your worries about your health care, and even before you reach your car, you get a call from a healthcare professional to address your concerns. to help make sure you don't have to stop taking medications because you can't afford them. That's what happens here at Market Advisory Group. And if you'd like to set up a complimentary, no obligation visit with our full team, operators are standing by right now to take your call at 316-252-8707. And be sure and check out our website, ionretirement.com. We'll be back with more Ion Retirement and more about Rose and Charlie right after this.
Out on the water, there is a moment. Perfect synchronization. The team working together in harmony to reach their goal. Now, imagine finding a team of financial professionals to help run your course down the river of retirement. Market Advisory Group is that team. Financial advisors, tax professionals, estate planning attorneys, and Medicare advisors. All in the same boat. If you don't have a team like this in one place, it can become a hassle to relay information between them. When you come to Market Advisory Group, we bring everyone together for you. To get you answers in real time. To help make sure you don't miss something that puts your unique plan off course. You shouldn't be the one doing all the work to keep your retirement on pace. You should have a team in the boat with you. Your voice telling them where you're at, where you'd like to end up, and how you want to get there. And at that point, everyone falls into sync, all pulling in the same direction, toward the same purpose. Your retirement's financial security. We are Market Advisory Group, proud sponsor of Shocker Rowing.
Hi, and welcome back into Ion Retirement. In this segment, we're continuing the story of Rose and Charlie, who received some great news about health care coverage. Julie, what was next? Were we able to help Rose and Charlie with other aspects of a retirement plan?
Of course we were. So the next question for Charlie and Rose was a matter of whether Charlie should draw Social Security or not. Right after Rose had stopped working, they'd gone through some serious financial crunches, obviously, with some of her prescription coverage kind of things. So they were kind of behind on a lot of their bills, and they had a lot of concern. They knew that if they started drawing Charlie's Social Security, that they could kind of catch up without taking a lot of money away from his contributions to his 401k. But when we start talking about this and talking about those withdrawals or those Social Security benefits, we have to talk about taxes, of course.
Social Security, Joshua Cicora with Market Tax Services, such a contentious issue when it comes to when to file and who should file first, and can I file on hers or can she file on mine? It's not uncommon to see people draw their Social Security benefits at full retirement age and continue working. A lot of people don't consider the tax implications. So that's where our Market Tax Services team can come into play and really help.
Yeah, this is probably one of the most common conversations we have as we're getting to know people, is how to change their income situation with Social Security coming into play. Because it's not just a matter of how the Social Security is impacting their cash flow, but then how does that impact the tax return as well? Social Security is not like just taking a pension or continuing to work. It's not a dollar for dollar tax situation. So then we have to go in and look, okay, what kind of income do they currently have? How does this all play together? Because as we talk about all the time on here, your Social Security taxation depends on how much other income you have. And we take, half the benefits, we take all your other income, we combine that together, and then kind of apply to a couple different thresholds to see how much of your benefit is going to be taxed. Now, in Charlie and Rose's situation, their income was already at such a place that 85% of their benefit was going to become taxable. So we needed to talk about how that was going to play in with the rest of their tax return. What about withholdings? You know, you got to have something there to deal with the taxes when you get to the tax return. So we had to take a look at their 401k. We had to take, their wages, what was being withheld there, what they were drawing out of their retirement accounts, what was being withheld there, and put together a plan that met their situation so that when they got to their tax return, they weren't walking into a nasty little surprise.
It's a lot better to be able to spot these things before a tax return comes into play. Mm-hmm. There seems to be a general concept out there that if I wait until I get to full retirement age, I can make as much as I want without it impacting my Social Security. True or false?
That is true in respect to the forfeiture rule, which says that if you take Social Security before your full retirement age, then you have to, if you earn too much while you take it early, then you have to repay part of it. But once you hit your full retirement age, you can work as much as you want and not have to worry about that forfeiture rule. That is not talking about taxes whatsoever. Regardless of when you take Social Security, based on your other income, pieces of your Social Security will become taxable. And so that needs to be accounted in your retirement plan, in your cash flow plan, in that income plan that meets your situation. So we sat down with Charlie and Rose. They brought in their tax return. We talked about what their pay had been like this year, what they needed for their cash flow, and we started piecing together this income plan that took into account these different pieces, took into account what they needed to meet their cash flow, and then see where there were gaps and where we needed to change what was going on to meet their needs. And then when we were able to do this, we were able to look at Rose's Medicare premiums and saw how that with their change income situation, it was going to reduce those premiums in the future.
It's a complicated animal, and who would have thought that the U.S. government would come up with something that's complicated?
Not me.
So, Julie, in taking a look at their tax return, we were able to help Charlie and Rose save money in taxes, but also on Medicare premiums. Is that something you look at with every person you talk to?
Of course. Every single person that comes in. The goal is that each person's situation is different. And until you have those conversations and you start looking at the entire picture, you don't know what things might pop up for them that are a problem, whether it's healthcare issues, whether it's estate planning or taxes, does not matter. It's if you're not looking at that full picture, you're not getting an idea of what their entire retirement scenario is going to look like. So we always look at each piece individually because the goal here, remember, is to keep more of their nest egg in their nest.
Keep it intact.
You bet.
Here at Market Advisory Group, we're here to help in all aspects of retirement, from investments to taxes, from healthcare to estate planning. We have all the professionals that do it all, and we do it all under one roof for your convenience. If you'd like to set up a visit with our team, give us a call right now at 316-252-8707. And be sure and check out our website at ionretirement.com. In our final segment, we'll dive a little deeper into Charlie and Rose's estate planning situation, and that comes your way right after this.
How confident are you in your current financial plan? Do you know with certainty how the recent market volatility will affect your future hopes and dreams? How much are you paying in taxes? And how much are you losing to unnecessary high fees? You didn't work to save this money so that you could spend your time worried in retirement. Now is the time to take charge of your finances so you can feel confident about your future. Call in during the next 30 minutes of today's show only to set up an absolutely complimentary, no obligation, full-blown financial review that will result in your own customized written plan. We'll start with a full-blown analysis of what you already have. By running a report to untangle how much you are currently paying in fees, how you're allocated for risk, and what it's costing to work with your current advisor. Next, we'll identify your goals. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you want to go, and who do you hope to go there with? Is your current financial plan set up to get you there without mishap? Let's design a roadmap to create a financial plan you can follow with confidence. Get the piece that so many people are missing from their retirement. Find out how having a written plan can make a difference to your retirement dreams. Call now to schedule your complimentary, no-obligation, full-blown financial review today.
I need a place to go to see about my investments. Ask my friends if they know about holistic retirement. Everything in one place. Estates, taxes, and Medicare. People meeting face to face. Advisors to help me get there.
At Market Advisory Group. Retirement under one roof. At Market Advisory Group. We're invested in you.
Welcome back into the final segment of Eye on Retirement for this show. We've been talking about Charlie and Rose and how the complete team was able to save them money on taxes and health care insurance. But Julie, what about estate planning? Was Rose's health diagnosis a factor in how they planned for their future?
It certainly was. You know, everyone, absolutely everyone needs to have an estate plan. It's just a given, you know, just to make sure you have all of those pieces in place so that the things happen that you want to happen. But in Charlie and Rose's case, because Rose had that significant health diagnosis, it was really, really important to get them set up with the proper estate plan just in case.
Doug Tschauder with Eidelman Law Firm, our estate planning team. As Julie says, there's a bigger sense of urgency when there's a health diagnosis that could shorten someone's life drastically. I know you talk with people about their estate plan every day, but does the conversation change when the need is more immediate?
Well, the conversation itself doesn't change. The topics are still the same about their estate planning, but what does change is the timing of it. In Rose and Charlie's situation, there was a focus on making sure that her medication needs were met, but what they weren't focusing on is how could that health issue affect and potentially accelerate the need for that estate plan to be in place.
So what was the first step for Charlie and Rose?
Well, the first step for anyone is usually the toughest step as well, and that's actually just getting started. So one of the things that we do to try to bridge that part of it is we have a questionnaire where they lay out their situation with their family, with their assets and their investments and the things that they need to try to distribute, and also try to identify the people that are going to be able to assist them with that.
Do you find that people struggle making these kinds of decisions? I mean, it's a big deal to choose someone to have control over your finances if you're incapacitated, or who gets to make medical decisions for you.
Yeah, it can be very, very difficult. And in Rose and Charlie's situation, it was because it was just the two of them. They didn't have any children. And particularly with the power of attorney, which can be the most important document a person has, is that they need to have somebody in place if their spouse isn't able to do that. Oftentimes with a husband and wife, the spouse is just the natural choice to do that, and then they have to decide amongst children typically of who's going to take that backup role. Well, in this case, Rose and Charlie didn't have children to rely on, so they had to consider other family members, or sometimes folks look at friends and close people to them in order to take that place. And in this situation, that Rose and Charlie had a nephew of Rose's that they thought would be appropriate.
When it comes to powers of attorney, whether it's a medical power of attorney, a financial power of attorney, do you usually encourage people to talk to the people that they've named as powers of attorney?
Yeah, absolutely. It's important for any role, whether it's in the power of attorney, whether it's the executor of a estate or a potential trustee on a trust, the person needs to have some idea that they're going to be taking that role and what that role entails. So it's even in the best circumstances, when somebody moves into one of these roles, it can be very difficult. So that's why having a team in place to assist you with Market Advisory Group and Market Tax Services and Market Medicare Advisors and everybody in place, it makes it that much simpler.
Julie Newton, you're a financial advisor. We spent the last half hour talking about Rose and Charlie. We never got to the financial aspects of things, but more often than not, people have a lot more needs in retirement planning than just the financial piece.
And that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. They think, oh, my advisor's not doing what I need them to in terms of, I'm losing money. We're not thinking about inflation, this and that kind of thing. And so that's their main focus. And then they step into our office and they discover we do this whole wide range of things, and they're just blown away. Had a gal that I talked to just a couple of days ago who couldn't stop thanking us. She was almost in tears as she was leaving our office, just because we were able to provide answers for questions that she didn't even know she had until we started having that conversation.
The whole team coming together for one common cause, and that's helping the client in front of us.
Right, exactly.
Estate planning is such an important aspect of retirement, and you don't want anything to be missed. If your attorney isn't working with your financial, tax, and healthcare advisors, it could go awry. You want the whole team working together to make sure that nothing is forgotten in your estate plan. If you'd like to set up a visit with Market Advisory Group, please reach out right now. Operators are standing by at 316-252-8707. Again, that number to call, 316-252-8707. And be sure and check out our website at ionretirement.com. That's all the time we have for this episode. I'm Rick Everett, along with the entire panel, reminding you that we're here to keep an eye on retirement.
Unless otherwise indicated, all client and prospect names mentioned on this show have been changed to protect the identities of the individuals discussed. Investment advisory services are offered through Foundations Investment Advisors LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The content provided is intended for informational and educational purposes only. The views, statements, and opinions expressed herein are those of the individual speakers and not necessarily those of Foundations and its affiliates. The information contained herein does not constitute an offer to sell any securities or represent an express or implied opinion or endorsement of any specific investment opportunity, offering, or issuer. Any discussion of performance or returns are not indicative of future results. Each individual investor situation is different, and any ideas provided may not be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Foundations only transacts business in the states where it is registered or excluded or exempt from registration requirements. Registration as an investment advisor is not an endorsement of the firm by security regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. No legal or tax advice is provided. Always consult with a tax professional. Legal services are offered by Eidelman Law Firm. Tax services offered by Market Tax Services. Market Advisory Group does not provide legal or tax advice. Any comments regarding safe and secure investments and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products. They do not in any way refer to investment advisory products. Rates and guarantees provided by insurance products and annuities are subject to the financial strength of the issuing insurance company, not guaranteed by any bank or the FDIC. The guest commentators featured in this show are not investment advisor representatives of Foundations and do not provide advisory services. Market Advisory Group does have several investment advisor representatives that can provide such services. This is not endorsed or affiliated with any U.S. government agency, the Social Security Administration, or associated with any federal Medicare program. We do not offer every plan available in your area. Any information we provide is limited to those plans we do offer in your area. Please contact Medicare.gov or 1-800-MEDICARE to get information on all of your options. A Roth conversion may not be suitable for your situation. The primary goal in converting retirement assets into a Roth IRA is to reduce the future tax liability on the distributions you take in retirement or on the distributions of your beneficiaries. The information provided is to help you determine whether or not a Roth IRA conversion may be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Please review your retirement savings, tax, and legacy planning strategies with your legal/tax advisor to be sure a Roth IRA conversion fits into your planning strategies. All rights reserved.